Hi everyone, it's Katrina. Number 10. The Emerald Tablet. The Emerald Tablet is one of the most secretive and mysterious discoveries ever made. That is, if it ever truly existed. The Emerald Tablet is supposedly made of solid emerald and is inscribed with the very secrets of the universe. It was allegedly found in a tomb underneath the statue of Hermes Trismegistus in Tyana, locked in the hands of the corpse, as if even in death, Hermes tried to keep the secret to himself. To understand this a little bit better, we need to look at Hermes Trismegistus. Just like the Emerald Tablet, nobody knows if he was a real person or not. His name is connected directly to the origins of mythological alchemy in Egypt and Greece. He was supposedly the grandfather of Western alchemical philosophy and the author of the Emerald Tablet. He lived roughly 2,000 years ago in the city of Alexandria during Hellenistic Egypt. According to the myth, the Emerald Tablet was inscribed with every scientific principle that rules over the universe. Some legends even say it was Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve, who originally wrote it with his own sacred knowledge. Sadly, if the Emerald Tablet does exist, nobody knows where it is. There are some theories that say the tablet was written in the 6th century by an Arabic scholar and burned in the Library of Alexandria during a great fire. Number 9. Life on Mars. Most people would tell you that we are still looking for proof of life on Mars. NASA currently has rovers on the red planet digging around for the first evidence of organic life. But the secret truth is that we found life on Mars in the 1970s, and it was swept under the rug. Gilbert V. Levin was the principal investigator in 1976 when NASA sent their experimental Viking landers to Mars. He just published an article in the Scientific American Journal arguing that he witnessed positive results showing proof of life, and that his positive results were ignored. The experiment was called Labeled Release, and it was all about testing Martian soil to find trace amounts of organic matter. The Viking probes deposited nutrients into barren Martian soil. The idea was that if life was present in the soil, the living organism would consume the nutrients and leave evidence of itself in the form of gas. Radioactive monitors on the probe would then pick up those gases and confirm life. This is what we call a biological reaction, and it was exactly what happened. The test was a huge success, showing that something consumed the nutrients. It was only microscopic life, but it was evidence of life. The issue was that the other experiments failed to discover organic material, and when NASA tried to duplicate the results of their test in a lab, they failed. They then dismissed the biological reaction as a false positive. They called it an unknown chemical reaction and refused to admit the existence of life on Mars. Even stranger is that when NASA announced one of their more recent landers in 2020, they didn't even bother to include a life detection test. However, new information is coming out about the discovery of life as we speak, and now we have much better technology than the 1970s. Number 8. Aliens in Antarctica. A secret alien base has just been discovered off the coast of Antarctica, or at least that appears to be the case based on mysterious images from Google Earth. The base is located not in Antarctica itself, but 111 miles from the coast. The base is hiding underwater, and it looks to be positively massive. Satellite images show multiple structures with towering walls spread out across the sea floor. And although the base doesn't seem to be active, the scars left over from its construction are still clear as day. UFO hunters are certainly excited. They say there appear to be 3 submerged structures. One of them is exceptionally long at nearly 50 miles. The other is quite a bit shorter at only 10 miles, while the smallest is only around 5 miles. It's impossible to say what structures may have once stood here. Some claim they could have been landing pads for spacecraft, hangars for vehicles, and other parts of an alien base. But whatever the case is, there has been no mainstream news reporting the discovery. The only people talking about it are those labeled as conspiracy theorists. While it's true the evidence is tenuous at best, there does appear to be a complex of ancient sunken structures off the coast of Antarctica. But Are they natural, or were they made by somebody else? Number 7. Planet 9. Something very strange is happening at the outer edge of our solar system. There is a mysterious object that's been kept a secret from the population for years. The object is about 10 times the mass of our own planet and seems to be pulling other celestial objects towards it. Some have called this thing Planet 9 or Planet X, and they say it's a secret planet at the edge of our own little neighborhood of space. This brings us to a man named Percival Lowell. He was a traveler, businessman, and wealthy amateur astronomer in the 19th century. He became obsessed with the idea of Martians and extraterrestrial life and devoted his fortune to revealing the truth of such things. Percival believed that he discovered ancient canals across the surface of Mars, carved by the last civilization that lived there as they desperately tried to extract water on their dying planet. He also built a huge observatory to try and better see the secrets of the universe. One of his most unusual discoveries was something called Planet 9. He believed that at the edge of the solar system, there lies a phantom planet so massive it's disrupting the orbits of everything around it. The theory has been laughed out of popular culture as nothing but 19th century nonsense. And yet, according to Mike Brown, there is definitely something out there. Mike is the legendary professor of planetary astronomy who demoted Pluto in 2006, taking away its status as a planet. Mike and his colleagues recently released a paper proposing that there is indeed a colossal planet at the edge of the solar system, 10 times the size of Earth. This is exactly what Percival Lowell was suggesting, and yet he is considered a crazy conspiracy theorist. In the end, we don't know what Planet 9 is, or why nobody has ever been able to see it with a telescope. All we know is that there is something big out there, some kind of invisible planet, and it seems to have a significant influence on gravity itself. And now for number 6, but first, it's shout-out time! Big thank you to Cecilia Gallegos and Mrs. John Winchester. Thanks so much for watching and supporting this channel. If you are new here, welcome, and be sure to subscribe for more videos about amazing discoveries. Number 6. The CPU Manuscript. The CPU Manuscript is an ancient text from the 16th century that appears to show exactly how to create multi-stage rockets. The manuscript suggests that 500 years ago, someone figured out how to make rockets using liquid fuel. The manuscript is 450 pages long and was found in Romania in 1961 in the archives at the University of Bucharest. The craziest part of the mystery is that nobody knows who wrote it. The best guess is that it was a German military engineer named Konrad Haas. We know Konrad lived between 1509 and 1576 in the Kingdom of Hungary. He made all kinds of fascinating sketches, mostly for war machines that were never invented. Given the time in which he lived, many of his sketches were way too advanced. Because of his familiarity with rockets, it only makes sense that the mysterious manuscript found in Romania was authored by him. But where did Konrad Haas get his inspiration? This is what stumps the experts. The only thing they had back then were fireworks, which weren't exactly ballistic missiles. Number 5. Cueva de los Tallos. A major expedition was undertaken in Ecuador in 1976 to search for something out of this world. Among the group of explorers was famous astronaut Neil Armstrong. Neil and the rest of the team went deep into the Ecuadorian jungle in search of Cueva de los Tallos, a mysterious cave said to contain bizarre sculptures, impossible tunnels made by advanced technology, and a metallic library. These things were supposedly left behind by a lost civilization that got a helping hand from alien beings. The cave has been used by the indigenous Shuar people of Ecuador for centuries, as long as any of them can remember. They use the vast underground system as a sacred site. They descend into the blackness using ladders crafted from vines, down into a 213-foot shaft, and then hold ceremonies in the underworld below. The biggest chamber in the cave is nearly 300 feet tall and almost 800 feet wide. The subterranean tunnels go on for just about 3 miles. There are a lot of things in the cave: tarantulas, boa constrictors, scorpions, and nocturnal cave birds. The Shuar considered themselves the guardians of the cave and never really had any issue until the late 1960s. That was when an explorer named Janos Juan Moritz allegedly snuck into the caves and uncovered a small trove of gold. He was the one who found the artifacts and sculptures and the strange metallic library containing information inscribed on metal tablets. Janos also believed the caves to be purely artificial, carved by advanced intelligence thousands of years ago. This was what inspired the scientific expedition with Neil Armstrong in 1976. There were over 100 people involved, multiple governments, and all the best scientists in the world. The network of caves was mapped extensively. Plant life and animals were recorded in great detail, and there was evidence of human habitation. But there was no metallic library, no gold, and no strange artifacts. Interest in the cave waned after that. But there are still people who want to believe the true discoveries were covered up and the metallic alien tablets taken in secret. Number 4. Mount Kailash. Mount Kailash is one of the most mysterious mountains in the world. It's also one of the only peaks in India that has never been climbed by modern humans. Nobody has ever reached the top, even though it's way shorter than Mount Everest at only around 21,000 feet. And chances are, nobody ever will. Local legend is that Mount Kailash is a bridge between our world and the kingdom of heaven. In Hindu culture, in Buddhism, and even in Jainism, the mountain is considered the holiest of holy sanctuaries. It's supposedly the abode of Lord Shiva. There are also rumors that the air at high altitudes on the mountain is so powerful it can cause a person to rapidly age. Time allegedly works differently on the mountain. After a climber passes a specific area, they are said to begin aging at an incredibly fast pace, decades in only hours. But there is no way we can know if that's true or not because no one has ever reached the top. There are some who even claim Mount Kailash is no mountain at all, but in reality, a secret pyramid of unimaginable size, hidden underneath the snow. Number 3. The Anunnaki on Mars. Something unbelievable and seemingly impossible has just been found on the surface of Mars. The head of what experts are calling an Anunnaki statue has been seen thanks to NASA photographs of the red planet. NASA's Curiosity rover and the Opportunity rover have taken plenty of bizarre images on Mars, most of which have been dismissed as nothing but optical illusions by NASA themselves. We've seen strange domes, what appear to be the crumbling ruins of very old structures, and other things that defy explanation. But this most recent statue is really difficult to brush aside. Images taken by NASA's rover clearly show the broken stone head of a statue that looks like it belongs in ancient Mesopotamia. The statue looks extremely similar to carvings and depictions of the Anunnaki gods found in ancient Sumer. It has 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, and the same cone-shaped beard identical to statues found right here on our own planet. Here's where things get a little bizarre. There is a widespread belief that the Anunnaki, a theorized race of space beings, didn't merely colonize Earth many thousands of years ago. People also believe they colonized Mars, creating their own human-like civilization there as well. If this statue is any indication of what happened on Mars back when the planet still had liquid water on its surface, there may have been a real civilization there. There could be pyramids, other statues, and all kinds of ruins hidden just underneath the surface. It could be that the Anunnaki lived on Mars before coming to Earth, where they allegedly bestowed their great knowledge on the human race. Number 2. Chilean Aliens. The Atacama Desert in northern Chile is one of the driest and most desolate landscapes in the world. It runs along the western coast of South America, a place known as Alien Alley, for the extremely high rate of UFO sightings. It's one of the highest in the world, and so it's kind of ironic that the landscape here is so similar to Mars. The Atacama Desert is also home to numerous amazing geoglyphs, strange pictures carved into the surface of the desert, and meant to only be seen from the air. These geoglyphs are similar to the ones in Peru, like the Nazca lines. For a long time, researchers have wondered why primitive people would make pictures that could only be seen from the sky. It's almost as if they were making the geoglyphs for visitors. In November of 2014, Chilean Navy officers testing a new infrared camera on a helicopter captured a flying object on video. It was at an altitude of 4,500 feet, and they managed to track it for several minutes. There was about 9 minutes of footage, which the government released in 2017. When inspecting this footage, image analysis expert Michael Bradbury noticed that the mysterious objects look a lot like geoglyphs in the Atacama Desert. They are diamond-shaped crafts almost identical to one another. It really does seem like the Chilean geoglyphs were meant to be depictions of the ships used by alien visitors, sketched on the ground thousands of years ago. Number 1. Secret tablets. Mysterious images have appeared online depicting British archaeologists in the 1930s in Iraq. These archaeologists can be seen standing with strange tablets with unbelievable images on them. These tablets seem to show alien creatures with tentacles and many arms interacting with human beings. The tablets are also covered in weird symbols. Unfortunately, we don't know anything about these tablets. They were supposedly taken in 1932 from the famous ziggurat of Ur, a great pyramid made by the Sumerians in 2050 BC. However, the tablets are not in any museum in the world. Nobody knows what happened to them, and nobody even knows if the images of the tablets are real. Thanks for watching! Which of these top secret discoveries is too crazy to believe? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time! Bye!